travelers! How are you all doing today? Ye blessings! Thank you so much for pressing the play button. Please feel free to stay and also to join the others. The mathematical wizards will restore your wisdom while you are here to learn. It is so great to have you. I am Johnny, your host, with HomeCountry Mathematics. I truly appreciate you. Let us learn some maths, shall we? Ye wonderful learning individuals, it is a pleasure. All right, let us continue. Let us continue. We are in chapter 1-2, continuing on with order of operations. Evaluate numerical expressions by using the order of operations. We are going to continue with some more problems. I do recommend that you try or attempt to grind out as many of these type of algebraic expressions, because the more that you do, the better you're going to get. You just have to trust and believe. Again, we all support you. Every single individual that is watching the content and learning along with you, all support you. Let's go. Okay. We have 8 subtract 6 being multiplied by 4, all divided by 3. If you don't mind using or utilizing my concept, again, addition, subtraction is the last thing you're going to be doing. So I like to pretend or imagine we have a neighbor on one side of the fence and a neighbor on the other side of the fence, right wherever there is a subtraction or addition sign. So we have a left-hand side and a right-hand side. Just simplifying the problem, making it less confusing, okay? That is the goal. So as you can see, the left-hand side really isn't doing very much. Okay, bringing the subtraction sign down. The right-hand side has a little bit of work. Okay, it's basically multiplication and division. Do take note that there are no brackets being utilized. If we wanted to be specific or clear, we could add a couple of brackets for clarity. That's the great thing about brackets or parentheses, is they create that organization. And also, it generalizes and it makes the problem more specific, if you can understand, we're kind of being explicit here. That's kind of what I'm trying to get at here. Okay, we're being explicit. We want 6 times 4 to be multiplied first, then the division lastly. Okay, now take note that is with brackets included. All right. So, commonly, if there are no brackets, then you go with the concept of left to right. Okay, so we're going to work the problem left to right. So this means we're going to be doing the 6 times 4 first. Quickly. I want to recommend that you study your multiplication and or times table. It is going to help you solve any of your mathematical problems quickly, efficiently, and effectively. You may even become faster than your peers. Wouldn't that be great? We all support you here, and good luck in your studies. Okay, continuing on. We are going left to right because there are no brackets. So we have 24 being divided by 3 now. I must make sure I pay attention to what I am saying. Sometimes I could be silly. Okay. With that said, here's another way of writing the problem. Continuing with the fact that our 8 is on the left-hand side, I could turn this into a fractional form. Myself, personally, I prefer working and turning these division type symbols into fractional form. It's not really necessary with what we're doing here because really we only have 2 numbers. But for clarity's sake, or if you prefer, I like to turn my division into fractional form. Okay? All right, let me clean that up and let us continue. So now we have 8 subtract 24 divided by 3. As we know, 8 times 3 equals 24. So we're left with 8 for the right hand side. Okay? Now we're down to the last step. Step 3, addition, subtraction. Our answer, as you know, is going to be 0. If you had 8 apples and you gave away 8 apples, you will be left with 0 apples. Okay. Let us do another. Okay. We have 32 plus 7 squared, subtracting 5 times 2. All right, so as you can see, we have an addition and we have a subtraction. Okay? You can continue using the neighbor or neighborhood concept, if you will, if you don't mind. So I'm going to separate this problem into 3 sections. So 3 neighborhoods. Neighborhood 1, neighborhood 2, and neighborhood 3. Continuing on, you can see neighborhood 1 doesn't really have much to do. So I'm going to bring down my plus sign. Neighborhood 2 has an exponent. So I could actually write that in this form. For clarity, this is okay. Nothing has changed. All we've done is added parentheses. Same thing with the right hand side. Or neighborhood 3. because technically speaking, we don't really have a left-hand side, right-hand side anymore. It's more of having three neighborhoods. Okay? Oh, I can't wait for a pen tablet. There we go. This is simplifying the problem so that it's clearly understood what is going on. Continuing on with the problem, we have 32 plus 7 squared is 49. Subtract 5 multiplied by 2 is 10. Now we're getting into the area of integers. Let me open here. Let me open something here quickly. Okay, I'm going to share this. It's just one of my sketches. Integer number line grid. We should all understand and have the knowledge of how integers work. 0 is center. Again, this is something that you could easily use snipping tool, print it, and essentially cut this in half. I could draw a cut line, I guess, and then we just got to connect the 0 where 0 is. Okay, so we have a left-hand side where all our integers are negative values. As you can see, all negative values go in the left direction. They increase in the negative direction infinitely, right? At the 0 mark, all positive values go to the right infinitely, and they increase infinitely to the right. Negative values increase infinitely to the left. Okay, that makes sense? I hope so. All right, I doubt we will end up in negative values, but this is all kind of part of algebra. You do have to have that integer grid understanding. Okay, so I have positive values, which are, because this is technically a positive 2. We just don't write positive 32, right? It's inferred positive. Unless you're explicit by saying it's a negative, now we know it's a negative, right? But in this case, it is a positive. So we have 49 plus 32 9 and 2 is 11. Carry the 1. 5. 4 plus 1 is 5. Plus 3 is 8. We have 81. Let me just clean this up. 81. So all I've done so far is added the 2 positive values. Okay? And then we still have negative 10. So negative means we're going left. Okay? Remember, 0. I'm trying to do this quickly. Zero is center. Positive values, negative values. Okay? So we are deep in the positive here, 81. Okay? So it would take at least negative 81 jumps to get us back to 0, right? So that means our answer is going to still be a positive. Doing the math in my head quickly, the answer is going to be positive 81. Whoops, what am I doing? Being silly. All right. This is the thing about mathematics. You got to constantly pay attention to what you're doing. It's really easy to make simple mistakes. Something I highly recommend. Constantly pay attention to what you're doing. It also helps that you don't have 10 different things going on in your mind. Okay. How are we doing for time? Yeah, we're at that time. I'm going to do more examples. Again, I recommend the more you do, the better you're going to get. This is how for me, algebra is the foundation to the rest of mathematics. If you can get algebra down and be successful at it, you're going to be successful at so many different areas of mathematics as you progress, whether you're going from 9, grade 10, grade 11, 12, and into college. Okay? All right. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And I'll see you guys and gals in the next video. Thank you for watching. Take care.